Word.
Um,
I had a secret pass. I didn't
and
even
we were
ask for it.
and we
Just
were talking about scary monsters.
mm-mm.
Ms. Blipper asked me if I had any scary monsters, and I thought I'd wait until we had an audience before I showed everyone my scary monsters.
Let them loose, man.
Um, you know, there was Wayne Lickerman, non-duality teacher. Um, his guru, uh, Backscar. I don't remember. There was Wayne Lickerman. I don't remember how to pronounce his name. Anyway, he was a drug addict and alcoholic. So bad that, and happily so, he didn't want to change. So bad that he would have to stuff toilet paper down his pants because he had a continuous leak. Uh,
Oh.
and he didn't care. Um, one day he drank and drugged himself sober. He just, no matter what he took, he couldn't get.
Oh, he just
Yeah,
evaporated.
which depressed him. Um,
Yeah,
so he,
yeah. When somebody's blown the cover off of you.
right. So he thought, well, if I never gonna get drunk or high again, I'm gonna take everything that I have, which he did, and ingested it, took it all, and then went down to a bookstore and bought a whole bunch of spiritual books because he thought he had something happen to him. Bought the Tao Te Ching and the Impersonal Way, all kinds of stuff, and learned how to meditate. Still wasn't quite happy until he ran into his guru, and he was really surprised to have a guru. He was a big, tough businessman, uh, and he begged him for a spiritual practice, sadhana. You gotta, you gotta help me. That's the only thing that's gonna make me happy. And finally, Balskar, I believe that's his last name. He was also on Leonard Cohen's last guru,
Okay.
Canadian songwriter. He said your years of drinking and addiction was your sadhana. It was your spiritual
Ah,
path.
there you go.
The reason why I mentioned that because you were asking me about scary monsters, and I think my addiction was my great scary monster. And when my addiction left, um, the scariest aspect of it is gone.
Hmm.
However, the shadow of it still peeks its head up
Oh,
and reminds me that I'm not. I haven't gone. I might be at heaven's door, but I haven't crossed over into the threshold.
okay.
Um, and that reminds me of something that I wanted to ask you. You and I have never really talked about shadows, shadow effect. So, shadow, scary monster, and learning how to love ourselves.
Well, all of those things, it's interesting, and I love this episode that you just recounted because that is really a beautiful lesson, which is that all of the shadows and scary monsters and looked at in a certain way, they can backfire, meaning that in any case, they reflect um, kind of like where they can reflect where our homework is. It's yeah, the school of hard knocks, and quite,
Right.
you know. Um, but from a holistic perspective, that's not necessarily a bad thing or something to judge as bad, because if it in the end knocks you out of the ring to find another path, great.
True. Um, and we've been talking about triggers, and triggers aren't a bad thing. Otherwise, we wouldn't see, like you said, we wouldn't learn our lessons. We wouldn't know. Same with the shadow. As soon as we learn to recognize the shadow, and it shows up, once we recognize it, it shows up everywhere.
Hmm.
Um, then now we know what we're confronted with. And without knowing our triggers, without knowing the shadow, without knowing the scary monster, uh, we're literally running. Hey, Lucy, we're literally running from nothing, and yet we think it's everything.
Yeah. I told you my invisible dog was named Trigger.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, so what about you? Any scary monsters lurking in the closets, under the bed, in the
Oh,
fishbowl?
probably in the fishbowl. There's probably lots.
Hey, real
Um,
quick.
sure.
Have you ever been intimidated by an imperative? Have you ever pulled it out and put it back in and went, "Whoa, no, not today"?
No, I haven't, but there certainly have been, yes, intimidated by an imperative for sure. And for sure, there have been imperatives that I pulled that were just like, mm, that didn't smell nice,
Right.
necessarily. Like some of them are quite, gnawing at negative stuff, and it's like we all have negative stuff, don't we? I mean,
We do.
that's why we're here. um which is why I love that one word. A lot of people dislike the word atonement, which is used, or like new agers would say at one mint, which I don't like. Even though at one mint is fine, but it's not what atonement means. It's the undoing, so, like, uh, for most of us, I believe, um it's this opportunity being here and now to have all sorts of illusions undone. Mm. Which, isn't always fun. I mean, we can adore our illusions, or think they keep us safe or whatever.
Hey, Kundalini King asks if you can define imperative, please.
Yes, I'd be happy to. An imperative is a grammatical term. And I teach English as a second language, or I did for many, 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 many years. And so the grammatical form of an imperative is the form that just kind of gives you an order. Like it just tells you what to do. Like, think this, close your eyes, sit down, go away, shut up. Those are all imperatives because they're not asking, and they're not, um, yeah,
There's a
they're, yeah.
there's a sense of urgency to it, though, right? An imperative. It's imperative that you get
Well,
this.
that's imperative as an adjective. That's using imperative as an adjective. But my fishbowl of imperatives are because grammatically they're imperatives. They're
Right.
using that form of
Leave it to you to have a very distinctive fishbowl.
right, instruction. I really think that, one of my very first videos that I will do is I will just like empty the fishbowl. Like, I'll just have a marathon fishbowl. Last week, nobody wanted any extraction from the fishbowl, and
I know,
it's been in my living room ever since.
and I blame these guys. Every single one of them. We will
Oh
double up.
gosh, oh dear. What?
We'll double up. We
Hello.
got a good crowd today, so we'll definitely get some fishbowl. We'll get some imperatives taken care of.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah. So, did you, by any stretch of the imagination, do any home?
I have not done any particular homework on the Holy Instant, but
But
um, I've spent uh, 30 plus years doing my best to extend a Holy Instant uh, or stumble upon a Holy Instant. And I think that, you know what? I think social media, I think YouTube has given a wonderful place to find a Holy Instant. That, in this age of anxiety and angst and the ease in which it is to confront someone, because you don't have to worry about being embarrassed, or you don't have to worry about, I don't want this person to see my bad side because they don't know you. It's easy for anyone to come in and say whatever they want. Uh, so being able to offer a holy instant in which someone is, where you recognize someone in
mm,
spite of what's being presented to you. uh, YouTube and social media in general, you know, and especially right now where lines have been drawn, sides have been chosen, uh, leaders have been appointed, and this is why I've edged up to the political line, not so much to talk politics, but to find my own holy instant when I'm confronted, when I'm triggered. Can
Beautiful.
I? Can I? Someone who disagrees 1,000% with everything that I've really based my life upon, and they poke me in the metaphorically poke me in the chest, and look me in the eye and say, "You're wrong, and you are this, and you are that." Can I extend a holy instant? Can I
Wow.
ask? Can I ask for one?
Well, I'm going to ask for one right now because I'm also going to ask you another question, which is, um, we have all these wonderful visitors. There's Lady Skies in here, and Adam's in here, and I saw Joshua's in there. For people who don't know what the course is talking about or anything about the course necessarily, but or just what they've heard from us, maybe, or you, how would you describe the holy instant as something? It's got a tag on it and it says holy instant, it's like a little container, it's a little box, little bottle, it's holy instant. What are you going to tell them? What is it?
Um,
How do you describe it?
Seen,
Seeing.
seen, SEEN.
Seen. Okay.
Yes, everything is. I am, and they are. In
Okay.
one instant, we are
Mm-hmm.
seen as to who we are,
Okay.
and nothing can be judged. Nothing can be. Um, there's no need for forgiveness. There's no need for anything because everything just is.
Okay.
All right, I saw an eye roll.
No, no, I'm just listening. It's like,
Do- Well, do
right.
we do we have an add-on?
Sure. Let's see. It's where the miracle takes place. Um, it's connected to eternity. So it suspends in a certain way time. Uh, it doesn't substitute for learning, but it is a tool, you could say, perhaps the greatest tool. One, there's the holy relationship, the holy instant, and the Holy Spirit's teaching. Those are like the three biggies, in
Right.
terms of kind of reawakening to a sense,
So when we say this is where the miracle takes place, the
Mhm.
question that normally follows is, so what's the miracle? Is my backache gonna cure? Is my headache gonna go away? Am I gonna be granted unlimited funds and a new car and parking
Well,
spaces
that's
forever?
that's a beautiful thing. We don't decide that. We don't decide what the miracle is. That's a really important part of the process, I think, is to recognize that um the miracle does not follow our little petty egotistical ideas of what it should be. Part of the miracle is that we're actually allowing discovery.
So you're saying no unlimited parking spaces are free for me?
No, maybe they are, but what I'm saying is, um, what decides that isn't us. It isn't like, I want this, and then you get that. If you
Right.
get your own, like, I want this, I want this, I want this out of the way, and you become truly receptive. Like, if really what you wanted was God's will, or to be aligned with God's will, whatever that is, not recognizing, not determining it necessarily.
Right. One thing I love about the course is, um, you know, enlightenment in a lot of traditions can be very vague. What is, if I'm teaching someone yoga and I say yoga is the, eventually it's knowing yourself as an aspect of God, that it's
Mhm.
joined. Um, but what does that mean in practicality? What does that mean in everyday life? Um, and the Course in Miracles to me seems very specific when they talk about, um, when we awaken, that we're home in heaven, and that there is, that one perfect oneness. But in the meantime, through that practice of forgiveness, we create a happier dream here, which means that, you know, literally the whole chop wood, carry water. Before awakening, chop wood, carry water. After awakening, chop wood, carry water.
Mm.
Um, that, go ahead.
No, about the happy dream, because I did read a little bit about the happy dream today just by chance or synchronicity, if you will have it. And it's like there can be quite a bit of foolery in there, meaning it is possible for us to convince ourselves that, or let the ego convince us that this is the picture that we want, um, when it's not,
Right.
you know.
Well, Manual for Teachers talks about that in the 10 characteristics of God's teachers, with trust. That is, we can't replace when something is taken from us or seems to be taken from us, um, because we have placed value on something that is not of God, is not of the source. Um, like you were saying, we could easily reassign something else value, thinking, well, this is holier, this is more special, this is spiritual. But it's just another false idol, and then that is taken away because everything that is not serving that holy purpose of making this a happy dream, um, eventually we need to see through and let go of.
Well, and it can also be part of the learning process to relinquish judgment. It isn't even for us to, say what is or what isn't, the
Right.
special relationship, for example. It says, there are no special relationships in heaven. There aren't any. And we're very attached to, or can be very attached to special relationships. Um, but we also have to be just willing to relinquish the part where we have to judge whether something like that's up to us to
Right.
decide what's holy and what's not holy, or what's spiritual and not spiritual, or special or not special. we
Every
can
last judgment,
we can let that go.
every last judgment belongs to the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
We have a question from Adam. Would
Hmm.
you all agree that the holy instant has a lot to do with how much of myself, quotation marks, uh, how much of myself out of the way, so to speak?
Again, the only part of oneself that I think needs to go is judgment, which is really funny because judgment is like usually what people are like most attached to. Well, they're attached to guilt, they're attached to fear, they're attached to all kinds of things, but a lot of that is based on judgment, which is all based on the past. All judgment is based on the past.
Sniper wants to know, Ms.Blipper, have you looked into Nikola Tesla and his 369?
Yes.
And
He said there's something there.
um, Mustafa wants to know, when we change how we see the world spiritually, the world we see physically changes. Are miracles simply a natural consequences of a pure spiritual vision?
I don't know. I think that's certainly an element, and I do think miracles are natural. I agree with the course in that. But me personally, I I think that God is the source of miracles.
Sniper says that he's looking into his claim that 369 Tesla code serves as the mathematical foundation for a miracle, the transition from material scarcity to aesthetic abundance by assimilating A Course in Miracles, Tesla's physics, sacred geometry, pi, and the Kabbalah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still in, and it's come up with a couple of different guests of yours recently, and I'm still looking at it, which is regarding judgment. Is it just judgments about people, or kind of judgments about everything and situations and information? And
Well, you asked that question yesterday.
yeah, the other day, it's come up for me twice with two different guests.
I don't know if you got a satisfying answer. Did you?
No, it got passed over. But I'm still looking at it on my own because I'm I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't. But my tendency is to give it a greater scope than just people. Or, because I think it's also, our judgment of what people do and our judgment of situations and politics and what's good, what's beautiful, what's ugly, how we value things.
Want to hear my take? Because this is what Mustafa was saying, Eric. Of course, your opinion matters too. So, what's your opinion? I think that anytime we judge any aspect of the illusion as being real, anything, place, event, situation, if we judge it to be real, then uh, that counts. It keeps us bound. It's our judgment that keeps us.
Question: what if we're judging it as real or unreal? Maybe that's also a judgment.
Yep.
Like maybe that's not
Hand it over
for
to the
us
Holy
to do.
Spirit.
That's not our deal to
Yep,
say
it isn't.
what is real and what isn't.
Yep, hand it over to the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Let the Holy Spirit let you know. Because there might be a depth of love that we don't see. So we want to relinquish our vision, our physical sight, for the vision of the Holy Spirit in every aspect that we can. And I think we get better at it.
One would hope.
I hope. Let's see, where are we? Sniper had said that
I'm looking at Lon John's Pythagorean theorem because I'm kind of a Pythagoras fan, I must
me
say.
too. I had his poster on my bedroom wall. Nope, I'm sorry, that was Robert Plant. I get I get this too confused. Did you have a poster on your bedroom wall as a kid? I think I asked you this before. Sean Cassidy, David Cassidy, Bobby Sherman.
No, I didn't. I didn't have any posters of idols or anything. I had four brothers and no sisters, and three of them were older. And anything like that might smell of idols would just be frankly dangerous.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
huh, interesting.
The rough bunch, yeah.
So
Wild things,
see, like for me, it was a little different. My older sister, uh, at the time, she was my musical guru. Her and her boyfriend, who later became my brother-in-law, would help steer me uh, in that. They were my sister's 5 years older.
Hmm.
So I thought she was pretty cool. Definitely cooler than my brother.
Yeah, we had a lot of music too. I mean, the music was the good part. But to stay, the safest, put it this way, the safest place in the house was the kitchen. And if I just kept on, you know, cooking food and, you know, baking cookies or cakes or whatever. But if I stayed in the kitchen making stuff, food to eat, then I'd be safe because
Safe
they,
zone. Good
yeah.
for you. That's just, food's a safe zone for a lot of people,
Hmm.
a lot of families too, family dynamics. If you're eating, you're not really thinking. You're not thinking of the important things. You're not trying to uncover those family dynamics. You're
Well,
not.
yeah, supposedly you're not really allowed to sit at the breakfast table while you're clobbering somebody. Yeah,
There you go. Good rule. Good rule to have. And we could say that food could be a shadow aspect
could be.
and a lot of judgment around food.
Yeah, no, for me it was just like hungry boys and give them food and they'll leave you in peace because they
Right.
want the food.
Right.
You know, carrot. Toss them a carrot.
Long John says Ms.Blipper is much more than a blip on our radar.
Aw, very sweet of you,
He also said
Ron John.
he had the same poster that I had. Please convey, Mustafa, please convey my greetings to Ms.Blipper. Every time she's here, we feel that the live stream uh, is enjoyable, exciting, and the beauty of the conversation is indescribable.
Um, Mustafa, you were that's a lovely compliment to say thank you. Thank you. Anyway, I did have a poster that one of my brothers gave me, I think it was either from my birthday or from Christmas. I can't remember. One of my brothers gave me a glow in the dark poster of like cartoon cats. And that was the only poster I had. And then my arch nemesis, this girl who like used to beat me up all the time, lived down the street. She was a big tomboy, and I don't know, she had like a problem with the fact that I had so many brothers or whatever. So she really was my nemesis. She like beat me up a number of times. Anyway, it
Right.
was her birthday, and my mother, because she was a neighbor, insisted that I had to go to her house for her birthday. And but my mom had forgot that it was her birthday, so she didn't get her a present. And so I went down to her house without a present, and she sent me home. She's like, didn't let me go to the party, so I was like caught in the middle. It's like, can't go to the party because she says I can't come in without a present, but my mother forgot and didn't get her a present, so I took the poster off my wall and I gave her that.
Oh,
It was from Pier One Imports. I know that.
I remember Pure One.
Sure.
And Spencer's Gifts. Do you remember Spencer's?
No.
No. Was it worth going to the party?
Um, I don't think so. I didn't really want to go. I mean, it was just like something that you have to do to not like offend the neighbors or
Right.
something.
Hey, tomorrow we have a guest coming up. He's a shaman. And we're going to talk about recapitulation, which is a shamanic art of reclaiming energy stuck in the past. You do it with head movement and vision.
Okay.
You literally move your head towards the path and you let it go. Is from the lens of A Course in Miracles, from the lens of those past events of, um, you know, fearful of a neighbor who might beat you up and not having a present and, uh, feeding your brothers to get a little bit of peace.
Hmm.
Do you think it's worth revisiting the past, reclaiming that lost energy, or do you think forgiveness can wipe the slate clean?
I think forgiveness can wipe the slate clean.
Have you spent any time forgiving those past events as they
Sure.
come
I
up?
mean, I like the girl who was my nemesis. I still saw her. I think the last time I saw her was when it was the day Ronald Reagan got shot. That was the last time I saw her in person. And then but we're friends on Facebook. There you go.
Well,
She found me through other friends or stuff.
you point it out to me. I'll take care of it for you.
Thanks.
Um,
I think actually that eventually she had kind of a breakdown, like
right.
psychotic episode or something, and that again, as we first began speaking, it actually helped her, like made her better. Like it
Good.
something had to shift, and
Hey,
that did it.
feeling feeling forgiven is no small thing.
Yeah, for real.
Forgiveness is a when we often think about it. Um, you know, Course in Miracles. It's often said forgiveness. We do for ourselves, and it is, but it is also something that we do extend to others, and it has a profound effect. We
Yeah.
might not always see those effects, um, but nothing is ever everything changes,
Hmm.
and they might not even feel that effect right at the beginning, but
Hmm.
it's there. Um, and I bet your work on the course probably did have an effect on your friend.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. But what you're saying reminds me very much of something else we've been talking about, which is judgment. And apart from judging other people and judging situations and judging things, um, gosh, are we not our own worst enemies? That's probably something you and I have in common. You know, other people, can be totally nice and sweet and kind and lovely, and we'll still like, you know,
Right. Right.
judge ourselves.
Well, that was the Yogi Tea about
Right.
when you pulled it out.
Exactly. I've got it right here. It's terribly difficult for me. Love yourself so that you may know how to live with self-respect. Yeah.
And you had mentioned how difficult that can be.
Woo. For me anyway, it's very difficult.
Hey, we could tie that
Sometimes
in.
sometimes I can't even conceptualize it.
Um, Lucy says, speaking of cards, that we're pulling cards here again on Yogis. Also got more decks on the way, Squirrel. Yep, return to every other Wednesday. We'll do some card reading, Lucy.
Nice.
Um,
I just got an old deck. There was a deck. There's a like a junk shop not far from my house, and they had a cool old um, deck of cards, tarot cards that were Salvador Dali designed, and
oh,
they're kind of cool.
nice. Um, Self love. We can tie that with the holy instant. Um, that in that holy instant, uh, there's a profound self love, because the self that the self that existed as someone that we would judge, like, or dislike is no longer present in that holy instant. So even extending a holy instant, even if it feels like we are extending a holy instant as a act of forgiveness towards another, uh, the holy instant itself is all encompassing. Right? It's not something for someone else. It is something between someone
It's
else's.
well, it's all about connection. It's
Right.
all about the whole picture. Mm.
Um,
But somewhere in the
hey,
course,
Ellie.
it says something about like, so who is the self? Who is the self who is loving the self? That's not always easy to compute. It's like there's then somebody's like an imposter self, and that would be the ego.
Right. Long John says, I believe some people are in need of an apology. Therefore, if you owe it to them or believe you owe them an apology, then provide it to them. Must make amends unless it hurts you or others. Straight out of the 12 steps, for sure. So here's the thing, Long John, with Ho'oponopono, and I think this aligns nicely with the Course, that it does not have to be done in person. We're talking energetically and
Hmm.
universally. that when we're using Ho'oponopono, it's the recognition that there's just consciousness, and anything that's occurring in consciousness, past, present, or future, is occurring in consciousness, meaning not theirs, not mine,
Yeah, and now
all
you really
encompassing.
are talking about the holy instant,
Right.
because that's what it is. It's that there are no private thoughts. They're all connected.
Hey, Ellie. Um, so we can, through that practice of uh, Ho'oponopono, 4 phrases. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. Um, and at first, it sounds like, well, I'm saying sorry for something or someone that has nothing to do with me. Everything has something to do with you.
Hmm.
Everything. Because there is nowhere where you leave off and the universe begins. There's nowhere where the universe leaves off and you begin. So if something is occurring, a war in the Middle East, a homeless person in Anchorage, uh, a dolphin caught in a fish net in the Pacific, if you are aware of it, then I'm sorry, because I'm somehow, just through the act of consciousness itself, I am a participant in the whole. No man's an island. Uh, do not ask for whom the bell tolls. The bell tolls for thee. Um, so did we say I'm sorry? Not because I did something wrong, but because I didn't realize that I was a direct participant in consciousness itself. But now that I realize, please forgive me.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm offering love. Thank you. I I always found Ho'oponopono tied in nicely with Course in Miracles.
Yeah, the, I like it. I must say I do like it, and it is tied in nicely, and it does work in terms of, like you were saying, consciousness. But the sorry and the please forgive me connected sound a little, I don't know, in my mind, like the forgiveness is a different kind of thing than the course describes
Right.
forgiveness.
And I can see that.
Hmm.
So I don't know if I can clarify it that, the I'm sorry again, it's not an apology. It is saying I just didn't recognize.
Hmm.
I did not recognize the universal truth of our oneness.
Sure,
Uh,
I was mistaken.
right. Yes. Or I was blind,
Hmm.
and now I see.
Hmm.
Uh, and then the please forgive me is simply saying that I am now open.
Or I
And
prefer to
in
see the Christ. Yeah.
Right, yes. And in 12 steps it would be, and the 12 steps would be, I'm willing to make amends.
Hmm. Hmm. I
Um,
once had a person actually come to me, somebody who had been through the 12-step process, doing the different steps or whatever, a relative. And I'll never forget, because they were like so solemn and so serious, and like they came up to me, and in it, on the one hand, like you say, energetically it was very powerful. They came up to me, and it's like, I'm in the 12 step, and one of the step processes is making amends, and da 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 da. And so basically this person was trying to make amends with me, but it was over something that had happened, like, I don't know, 40 years ago, 25 years ago, I don't know, like so long ago, that I truly had no idea what they were talking about, like no memory of it whatsoever, which is
right,
also kind of interesting, that how personal that can be about perspective and guilt, and how we elaborate things in our minds, the boxes that we create to hold on to keep love at bay or
right.
forgiveness at bay.
Long John has a great point. Before I give
Hmm.
that great point, Ellie says, nice necklace, Ms.Blipper.
Oh, thank you. That's a bead from my daughter.
Oh, cool. And Adam says, can you see me, Ms.Blipper? And I think he's talking CC.
Can I
Right.
see Adam?
Yes.
Yeah. Adam is the name of all of humanity.
And Longjen says, I get that, Yogi, about the Ho'oponopono, but
Hmm.
there have been some people who have apologized to me in my life, and it truly meant the world to me.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I can see that too.
Hmm.
It's nice to know that, you know, someone says, hey, there's a lot to be said that I was just an asshole, you know, and whatever it was in ninth grade gym class, I was just an asshole.
Hmm.
I was suffering at home. I was having these issues. I was bullied by someone else and took it out on you. Um, whatever that case might be, it's just nice to someone to say, you know what, I was just wrong,
Hmm.
and I'm sorry, and you know that your suffering, knowing the suffering that I caused, has had a profound effect on me. And this is what uh, the guest 2 days ago, Tina, was talking about the prayer that she used um, with her sister every time she came into her mind that uh, I give this relationship to the Holy Spirit so that we might both be free. Um,
Hmm. I
so
say that one too a lot. I mean, um, it's one of my favorite one parts. One of the, how they write in italics in the course, the little prayers, and it's when um, you're thinking of somebody, and it's like, I give you the Holy Spirit as part of myself. I know that you will um, be released unless I choose to use you to imprison myself in the name of my own freedom. I choose your release, recognizing that we will be released together.
Danny says hi to Ms.Blipper.
Hello, Danny.
Um, let's see. Adam says I like it when someone says sorry when they actually bothered me. Um, Adam says I also like when someone accepts my misdeeds with kindness and forgiveness.
Yeah, I had somebody again, another relative, um, eh, basically get super, super, super drunk and then just like really flip out, like shouting out car windows and had a violent, rageful, drunken fit. Anyway, um, and again, a couple of years later, I get this it was like a written apology. I'm so sorry, mortified, blah, 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 blah. And, that was good. I mean, I'm glad that this person, recognized what they'd done, but I also recognized that it was far more of a cage to them than it was to me.
And it often, you
Hmm.
know, uh, there's there's people who have said things that I've run into years later that have said, I was a bit of a jerk, and um, I would think honestly, I don't remember.
Right, exactly. It's was telling you the other one. It was like, I had
And
no
it
idea.
does, it's a relief to them. They're like,
Yeah,
so I,
so great. Yeah,
all these years I've been thinking how I must have hurt you.
yeah.
Um, and I've had people come in here uh, a year later. Sniper's been here when this has happened, and they
And
say, you know what,
apologize.
I was a troll, and I
Hmm.
came in there and I was so mean to you, and you never once acknowledged the meanness. You never, snapped back. Um, and I want to let you know, uh, I'm so sorry.
Hmm.
You knit.
Yes, I know.
He wants you to fix his sweater.
I know how to knit, but not like I can knit like a square, and you can like put the squares together. I couldn't make like a sweater unless it was like made of squares or something. So yeah, I have knit scars and squares, but yeah, no, it's not something. that I regularly do, but I do know how. Yeah.
Danny says, you know, when you forgive the person and you notice the mistakes you did, I forgive everyone, even my haters. Danny's one of the nicest guys on YouTube.
He is.
So Adam wants you to fix this sweater. Are you up for the task? The question
But
is,
that,
what's the matter with the sweater?
yeah, what's the matter? But there's a name for that you when you're fixing something that's already done. It's called darning, I
Darning,
believe.
right?
Yeah.
I call it duct tape.
So one of my brothers, one of my this is kind of funny. So one of my brothers, he this so I have a brother who is quite severely autistic. Okay. And so he never would wear any clothes that the brother that was older than him wore. So he to wear for him to wear clothes, he would only wear clothes that the other brother had already previously worn. But he would just like go on and on. I mean, he could go on. He doesn't like change a lot, so he can like go on for years and years and years. So he has jackets that are, literally duct taped up and stuff. you know? So m- if it was like Christmas and my mom got him like new underwear or a new jacket or a new shirt or whatever, she would give him this new thing conditionally in that he would take the old one with the duct tape or whatever to throw it in the fireplace. Yeah. That's how she kept the train going.
The the big the big bet people are making in the chat right now is, are you knitting with your toes right now as we speak?
No, I'm not, but my toes are near the fishbowl. It's here. It's waiting for you all. Just put in those requests.
Hey, just in time because Tiger King showed up. Tiger King
Oh,
says,
right. Hello, Tiger King.
it's saying parts of America it's negative 46. I don't think it's that cold. It's pretty cold here. I think
I heard there. Yeah, I heard there's
we've
going to
warmed
be
up
like
to
two
18
feet of
degrees.
snow. Yeah,
Uh,
18. No, 18 above it is, or 18 below.
he said negative 46, and well, I
Yeah,
think he's thinking
Minnesota.
he's well, he's it's Celsius for him,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe he's thinking that. It's pretty cold. It's about 18 degrees Fahrenheit right now, I believe. This morning when I walked, it was eight degrees.
Dang.
Um,
Yeah. I heard a big storm's coming, big snowstorms on the way.
it's here, sweeping
All
through
right.
as we speak. I don't think it was that bad for Cat. I don't think it was that bad for Lady Sky either. Tiger King. He asked about her. Um, so I I think it was pretty bad, but I not quite so bad. But it's still sweeping up north. It's not supposed to end here. We'll get some more. It's not supposed to end here until late tonight, and so we could get up to 13 inches.
That's a lot. Yeah.
It is a lot. Um,
Long John
so
said snow's getting to him.
in Minnesota, -1 here.
Freezing.
Who So it's just now getting there, Long John. Long John's just a little bit north of me. Let's who wants an imperative?
Does anybody want an imperative? We're giving them away.
Yep, it's a deal.
Maybe people have learned to not like the imperative so much.
Cunninglady King says they got 10 to 12 inches.
I love it when it snows in Rome. It only snows in Rome like once every 15 years. But when it snows, everything stops. It's fantastic because they're not prepared for snow at all. So nobody can drive. All the businesses close, all the schools close, all the parks close. Like everything just shuts down. It's wonderful.
I was thinking that this morning. I generally, at this point in my life, I don't like snow. I don't like the cold. I don't like
Mhm.
winter. But I love walking through the woods especially early in the morning when it's snow, and all I hear is the sound of my footsteps crunching in the snow.
Crunch, yeah.
Everything else is perfect silence. There's no traffic in the background. There's no airplanes flying overhead. There's just me and that crunch and the stillness of the woods.
Yeah, nature.
Long John says, "Fishbowl me, fishbowling."
Oh, really?
Adam,
I'm gonna do it, Lon John. Right
and
hand, left hand.
Adam really needs an imperative. Sniper
Who?
says, "Please."
Oh,
Aaron
wow.
Cunley,
Look.
or Adam.
Wow. You guys are making my evening. Okay, so Lon John, I'm gonna imperative you, please. Yes, I am. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Lon John.
Hey, Michael.
It says, your imperative says, enter each situation with the faith you give your brother, or you are faithless to your own relationship.
One more time.
Enter each situation with the faith you give your brother. So you're giving faith to the person next to you, your brother. So enter each situation with the faith you give your brother. You have faith in your brother, or you are faithless to your own relationship. So your faith in your the relationship is your faith. You have faith in your relationship, and it's going to be what you're giving to that other person.
Right. All right, Long John, that was for you. What let us know what you think. We can always try to unpack a little bit more. Sniper had asked for one. Adam had asked for one.
Okay, Sniper prefers my left hand deep into the fishbowl, normally speaking. So here we go. Wouldn't it be funny if it was like number 369? Okay. Or 12 hertz. Okay. This is for Chipmunk. It says, attempt to teach him not. That's some of your Shakespearean English. Attempt to not teach him. Attempt to teach him not. You are the learner. He is the teacher. The unredeemed cannot redeem, yet they have a redeemer. But here, I think it's talking about the Holy Spirit. It isn't for us to teach the Holy Spirit. We are the learners. He is the teacher. The Holy Spirit redeemed. He is the Redeemer. But the unredeemed cannot redeem, yet they have a Redeemer. Inside.
Cool. And Adam.
Adam. Adam. Adam, 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 Adam. I just kind of want to knit one for him. See if there's one that'll darn. Adam. It says, ask the Holy Spirit what your value is, and he will tell you. But do not be afraid of his answer, because it comes from God.
That takes care of any judgment there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that really
one swoop.
that kind of sweeps the floor.
Right. I like that one. That's been my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Michael, do you want an imperative?
We're giving them away. All right, we're gonna pick one for you, Eric.
Me?
Would you like one? Tell me you would.
Hey, stink bug.
Your favorite fishbowl. Here it is. The favorite fishbowl.
Hey, can you get that one for me?
Yeah, I'd be happy. This one, right?
That one. Yeah.
Is it? Oh yeah, wait. Oh, there it is. Okay, hold it. Yeah, you would ask for a big long one. All right. It says, say only this, but mean it with no reservations. For here the power of salvation lies. I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked.
So what I hear you saying is it's someone else's fault and not mine. Did I get that? Did I get that imperative wrong?
Yeah, that's right. No, not exactly. It's my fault, okay?
Oh, okay.
It's my fault. I'm responsible for what you see.
Um,
That's a big one, a huge one. And meaning it with no reservations is also
right.
likewise huge. But I think that students of the course, a lot of them actually really do run across that at some point, and it's not always pretty, when to like find out, ah, my, for lack of a better word, mental masturbation was doing all this, like making all of this like dust blowing up in the air, and explosions, and wars, and contrast, and fears, and worries, and all the rest of it, because
That
some of it.
responsi-
Go
Good.
ahead. Go ahead.
That responsibility is huge. That
And I don't, quite frankly, at least in my own experience, I can say that I'm pretty sure that a lot of the time, like, half that stuff I wasn't even conscious of. you know like that, there were layers and layers and layers of, there was a lot of stuff happening which I wasn't even able to read or see clearly. That's how entrenched I can be in my
right.
ego.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
And worse off is we can spiritualize it and think that we've done the work, think that we've done the forgiveness work, thinking that we're maybe not quite walking on water, but we're skimming along kind of nicely. Um, and the best thing that can happen to us is to get our feet knocked out from under us, um, and
Yeah,
realize,
we're not undone until we're undone.
right. I'm going to say hi to Joshua. Joshua, and thank you. Hey, Michael.
Hello.
Michael Wardwell. Do you want an imperative? Sebastian, thanks for coming in, my friend. I see that your channel is growing. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yay. Hello, amazing Joshua, energetic Joshua. Bet it's snowing out where he is.
Um, so, anyone
Long John
else?
says you are too energetic for this chat, Joshua. Your energy is overriding our secure connection. Please remove yourself from the chat because you're now glitching. No. We love amazing Joshua's energy. He does have energy. I admire
All right.
it.
Tiger
Scroll.
King, you still with us?
I don't know. I see Squirrel Snipers talking about that 440 hertz vibration a lot. I was actually thinking about that vibrational stuff today. Um, yeah, no, because one way that some people interpret the Holy Trinity is like dividing things between material, energy, and the psyche. That's how they would, some people might draw it up. And in that, the vibration thing definitely is in the energy area.
Michael, by the way, says sure. So this will be Michael's very first imperative ever.
Oh, wow. Michael's on his first
Yep.
imperative.
A
Oh,
virginal reach into the fishbowl.
wow. Wow. An imperative virgin. What do you know? Well, fishbowl is not as scary as it might seem. Michael, Michael, Michael. Yeah. One fell on the floor. Two came out. Actually, I had one that was very tightly rolled and one that just popped out. So, the tightly rolled one says, "Do not be concerned about how you can learn a lesson so completely different from everything that you have taught yourself." That's a great one.
One more time.
Really important. Do not be concerned about how you can learn a lesson so completely different from everything that you have taught yourself.
That is a good one. That's a good one for a very first one. For that.
Yeah.
By the way, Long just says, "Don't go too deep into the fishbowl, Ms.Blipper. You may hurt him." It
I'm
is.
gonna one day I'm gonna go off the deep end of the fishbowl. That will probably happen at one point or another. So this is the one that like popped out and fell on the floor. So I'm just gonna give it the collective. Learn to ask in connection with everything. What is its purpose? There you go.
It's a good, definitely a good one for everyone
Mm-hmm.
because well, today, if you've been doing the uh, lessons uh, through the calendar year, I don't know what anything is for. We have because we've assigned, egoically speaking, assigned meaning to everything, and if the ego is not just the illusion, but the actual um, projector of the illusion, everything that we've assigned meaning to really has no meaning whatsoever.
Yeah, we can I mean I finished, for anybody who doesn't already know, Eric already does, that, you know, I did, maybe, I don't know, the for the fourth or fifth time, I'm not sure which. I ceased counting ages ago. All the workbook lessons, so I just finished them at the end of 25, but I'm still stuck on the last lesson, which took place over a week anyway, just in the course,
Right.
but I'm still going with it, which is about, um, it's like, I give you this holy instant, um, be you in charge. I would follow you knowing that your direction gives me peace. So just going in a whole, like, I don't know, direction, but letting
Um,
that be, like having faith that there is um a peaceful presence, and there is something called grace, and being open to it.
why do you think that particular lesson has held you for so long this time around, and not all the other times that you finished the course?
I don't know. I could almost, the best, I really don't know, but my best guess would be that other times, after going through all the workbook lessons for a year, it's like at the end of a year of doing these lessons, I'm like, thank God
Right.
that's over. I'm like, good riddance. Whereas this time, I'm like, oh, gee, I kind of attached to that. I don't want it to go away. I want it to stay with me. And it does, inevitably, it does anyway.
Right.
But I do think that currently, in that particular, and that's why I said, can we talk about the holy instant today? Because there is something going on with me about the holy instant. It isn't all packaged up neatly. It's still being unpackaged.
Like that. It's a beautiful lesson. It's a beautiful way to wrap up the course.
Hmm.
So we have two questions, Adam. But before that, because Michael's new, and because we're talking about meaning, purpose,
Mm-hmm.
Michael says, "Are the other side of that? The other side of that is, what if there isn't a purpose for something? You know, you can find that out too."
Right. That's the other side of the coin. True. You know, I think that a lot, I mean, that, again, back to the ego makes a lot of machinations, a lot of dust that it just like blows around in the
Right.
universe.
And Adam wants to know, can Ms.Blipper elaborate on the well-tempered, clever, CLAVIR?
The well-tempered CL
A
mhm,
VIR.
VIR
Hit it
clavier. No.
if you want to read it.
Let's see. Question: can Miss Blipper elaborate on the well-tempered clavier? No, I cannot. I cannot elaborate on that.
So I think eventually we find out um, the purpose that we've assigned to everything by us, meaning from the perspective of the ego, um, isn't just wrong, just isn't. And we can ask the Holy Spirit the purpose and
Oh,
receive it.
yeah. Yeah. And all of that is inside, just, a healthy reminder that when we're talking about the Holy Spirit, we're talking about something that's inside of you.
Right. Hey, Aaron, Kundalini King says, would a holy instant be that faith in miracles?
Yes. Some faith, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it's faith in miracles. I don't know the answer to that question. But what I do have, and I'm so glad Kundalini asked that, is this afternoon I wrote down just a whole bunch of like random things in the holy instant. So let's see if any of these sound like they're helpful. One of them is, can I read you some of these?
Yep.
The holy instant is the Holy Spirit's most useful learning device for teaching you love's meaning. Let us join together in making the holy instant all that there is, but by desiring that it is all there is. So I guess the idea is to make everything holy instant, which is kind of cool as an idea. Um, being the acceptance of the single will that governs all thought. One will, God's will. That's kind of, I said that earlier, that governs all thought. And we accept that. We accept that there's one will that governs all thought. It's kind of cool. The necessary condition for the holy instant does not require that you have no thoughts that are not pure, but it does require that you have none you would keep. So that's like kind of connected to illusions, meaning um, it's not that we don't entertain illusions, but the whole thing isn't, we're not doing the changes. We're just going, okay, we don't prefer illusions. It's quite simple. The Holy Spirit kind of does the rest. So, this is the question for you personally, Yogi. This is the first one I wrote down. You can answer it too if you feel like it. Would you be hostage to the ego or host to God?
That is one of my all-time favorite lines in the course.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Always love it. It's the simplicity of asking it in any moment of confrontation, whether it be you know confrontation only going on in our own mind,
Hmm.
or a confrontation with someone else. Um,
True.
and
Agreed. Agreed.
I, I'll be honest with you. Um, I have preferred quite a few times for long periods of
Gosh,
time.
no kidding. It's like,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I thought that my addiction at one point was alcohol. My addiction is being right. Um,
It was comforting addiction probably for a while there.
yeah. And the only way for me to be right 100% of the time, all the time, is all the rest of you people's got to be wrong, man. Why has it taken you all so long to realize that?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's my fault. I'm sorry.
Please
Okay,
forgive me.
here's another one. The holy instant is a time when in which you receive and give perfect communication. Now this I love. This I do love. In which you receive and give perfect communication. This means, however, that it is a time in which your mind is open both to receive and give it. It is the recognition that all minds are in communication. This is what you were talking about before. It therefore seeks to change nothing but merely to accept everything. You with us?
I am.
Oh, good. What does this one say? Here's Jesus saying that he stands within the holy instant as clear as you would have him. And the extent to which you learn to accept him is the measure of the time in which the holy instant will be yours. That came up, I think it was with one of your guests. I think it was with Tina Spalding, and just talking about, channeling Jesus or something. And I was like listening to this, and I was like, oh, somebody said, how great is that, to have the lessons, the workbook lessons, and then, have Jesus channel a piece after it. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. But then it's also true that when I was doing the lessons this last time, I'm kind of listening by two sets of ears, listening to what going on in what my ego is saying, and then trying to listen to what, you know, Jesus is saying, but all of that within. And I don't know if I want to look outside for that, but there you go. Um, Ask yourself honestly, would I want to have perfect communication? And am I willing to let everything that interferes with it go forever?
That's another good one.
Yeah.
All of these things can be tools of immediacy that we can use any of these things to end any um, again confrontation with ourselves or with others instantly just by asking that question and having go back to one of our favorite things, having a little willingness to entertain that notion. We don't have to say this is true or whatever. uh, do I have a little willingness to examine, am I
Mhm.
willing to consider there's another way that um, I don't need to be experiencing what I'm experiencing.
Mhm. But also, just, is there a little willingness to not judge?
Right.
Just step aside and just go, my judgment about this that's in front of me, but, how I'm measuring this particular situation,
Sure.
it's
And
just, it's fallible.
and going down the rabbit hole just a little bit deeper, can you have a willingness not to judge your judgments?
Right. Right. That comes
Just
up too. That comes
and
up too.
when we do that, there's such a profound sense of peace.
Yeah. It's just seeing again, but it's that like that calling yourself responsible. Like, I'm responsible for all those judgments that I've made. I'm the one who's been doing that. Not
Right.
in terms of guilt, but in terms of like responsibility. So that if I want to be responsible for a a better way or a, you know, better situation or whatever it is, if I want to take on that responsibility, it's notable that one's been judging.
Kundalini says he feels at peace this afternoon. Thank you, yogis. He has the S there.
Oh, I I already knew we were yogis, but Holy Instant is given and received with equal willingness. In Holy Instant, there are no bodies, experience only the attraction of God. Wow, back to his will. Truly the time of Christ. For in this liberating instant, no guilt is laid upon the Son of God. There you go. And that's what we're talking about too, is just like um recognizing and talking about being responsible or taking on the, noting that one is responsible. Sometimes, when I got to a point where I decided to like look at people and just choose to not be placing on people what I thought, you know, they should be or how they should be or whatever, role I would assign them or whatever, like that just isn't necessary at all. It was a shift. Shift took place.
Um, which is a pretty huge experience. This, Adam brought up a good point. He's at the ending. I thought God created a turd called me. Um, it's our own self judgment,
Mm, mm, mm,
and
mm.
we can every statement that you put out there, we could extend that to ourselves.
Yeah. Well,
If
those things go on simultaneously. I let go of pigeonholing you, and i'm I'm freed. I'm freed by that.
right, right, um, Long John's getting some ice bullets. He said, "Yeah,
Ice bullet.
I think that's what's next for us is the ice. It might not
uh
actually be happening. I haven't looked out the window lately.
I like the word bullets in Italian, proiettili. I don't know
Nice.
why. Adam said that I was a language specialist, and all of a sudden I wanted to start speaking in Italian. Is that the Asian practice? Yeah, Japanese art of adding gold to the cracks in yourself. So that you make yourself a new, reborn, beautiful piece because you were always beautiful, just weren't realizing it. That's nice. Yeah, I've seen that art before, and it is beautiful. I even tried it once upon a time, but it didn't come out too great. I had a vase, alabaster vase, small, that had broken, cracked on the floor or something. So I tried to glue it back together again, which I did, but it looked kind of ucky. So I put gold nail polish on the cracks, but then it just looked messy. Whatever. Oh, someone Kundalini's gonna head out for some more shoveling. Yikes.
Yeah, that's my next step too. Is I'll go out there and shovel. This will be the third time for the day. Um, just easier instead of doing one big, especially because they said we could get up to 2 feet. So That's a lot of heavy snow.
Hmm. I have a Grateful Dead memory of being in
Hey,
Maryland,
Todd. And
and my oldest friend Liza used to live in Maryland, and her mom had promised her tickets to the Grateful Dead concert if she would shovel the ice that was on these like slate stones that walk to the front door. And so I got to my friend's house, and her hands were bleeding with blood blisters from trying to shovel the ice off of this like slate stone. She was crying, and it was like snowing freezing cold out, and my best friend was like crying with blood blisters all over her hands. And she
wow,
explained to me, that her mom had told her that if she shoveled this ice off the slate, that which she couldn't do, that she'd give her money to get tickets for the Grateful Dead. And and so then she finished the job. I said, "Here, let me take it out." And I started shoveling for her since her hands were bleeding. And so then we went back inside, and she said, she was angry at her mom, and she was like, "Give me the money now, for the concert tickets or whatever." And her mom said, "I didn't say that." And she just had lost her mind. She just had a crazy rage fit and started spray painting the wallpaper in her bedroom she didn't like.
did she ever get to go?
Mm.
So, man, I was hoping for
Mm.
a happy ending.
No,
Um,
sorry. I'm sure she went later on. I
do
don't
you remember
know.
where the show was?
Probably somewhere Maryland, Virginia. I don't know. Somewhere in there, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure. Wasn't far away.
The Dead did a show in Hershey Park. Um, what a There's two amazing places to see uh, the Dead. I haven't been to Red Rocks, but Red
Mhm.
Rocks would a wonderful place. But you don't want deadheads dancing on cliffs, and you don't want deadheads in an amusement park on rides where the floor drops out beneath of you, and you know
Spinning out. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
you don't want that.
They're always spinning out enough. All right.
Um, the Long John says, "You never promise Grateful Dead and don't come through." Horrible mother. Um, did you ever at Meriwether Post Pavilion in Columbia?
No, not that I
It's
remember.
it's a beautiful place for any show. It has a great lawn. You could also go inside the pavilion. Um, all my favorite Dead memories were at Meriwether Post Pavilion. Hey, Long John, you ever
That
been
might have been where it was. That might because this was probably like around 76 or something. That's my
um
guess.
right? It was a bit before
76
my
or 77. Yeah.
um can you imagine the karma you get for telling your kids you're going to do something amazing for them and then screwing your kids over like that? Seems like really bad karma.
I don't know if it's karma, but it certainly is a training. It's like eh, I observed that there's kind of a training in, I don't know how to call it, mind fuckery. I just made that word up for being a language specialist, but you know, I saw a
Um,
lot of different examples.
have you ever seen any shows anywhere in Baltimore?
No.
I'm sorry,
Oh, maybe
where
I
were you in
have.
Maryland again?
I'm trying to think Sarah Vaughan,
Oh, nice.
but I think she was in Pennsylvania. I think she was in Pennsylvania. I don't think she was, but she might have been in Baltimore. Yeah, maybe, possibly Sarah Vaughan. What?
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
What was last thing?
That I don't remember if Sarah Vaughan was in
Oh,
Baltimore and Pennsylvania.
interesting. What where were you again in Maryland? What part?
Bethesda.
Bethesda.
Mm-mm.
One of the uh, one of
Posh
those
people, but it wasn't
posh.
one of the. No, it wasn't one of the posh people.
I don't think back
There
then.
are people who are less posh. I was one of the less posh
Right.
people of
I did,
Bethesda.
and I don't think Bethesda was quite as posh
No,
back then.
no.
Like you're familiar with like Gaithersburg and uh, that area, which
Hmm.
is very, very posh now. But it used
Now,
to
but
be.
it wasn't before.
It
Yeah.
was all
No,
through the '70s. It
my
was
father was a civil servant. He wasn't
right.
like a big schmo or anything.
I like Bethesda. I'd go down to Bethesda to hear Tara Brock.
Hmm.
Um, do she had a she still does have a uh, it's an insight meditation center,
Okay.
and would go down there for Buddhist studies. I did a couple
Hmm.
silent retreats there.
I've
Um,
heard this name before. Yeah, definitely heard something, read something. I think I've read something.
so yeah, so you were a little closer to the DC area. You probably went to Georgetown, right?
Yeah, I did go to Georgetown. The thing is though that I didn't live in Bethesda all of while I was growing up. I mostly grew up in California. I moved to California when I was 11. But then I moved back for 1 year when I was 15 and 1 year when I was, or not even 1 year. Moved back for 1 year when I was 15 and for like 3 months when I was 19.
Hey, Adam. Sweating and smiling together. How can any deadhead remember anything they saw at a concert?
That's kind of, there's some truth to that because
There's
I did like go to a Dead concert in California, and I remember very little of it. I mean, I remember something, but
I
not
have a
much.
certain amount of clarity to my dead shows, and I did everything that you expect a deadhead to do. Um, but some shows sort of blend together, but there are some moments that stand out in stark clarity.
Hmm.
Um, I particular songs coming on a set and dancing and feeling everything drop away except for the movement. Uh, and just knowing exactly what song it was. I remember dance. I remember the first notes of Sugar Magnolia,
Hmm.
and uh, having the thought, you know what, I really, really should be dancing to this song. And then with sudden awareness, realizing I've been dancing, that I am dancing right now. Uh,
In the wave. I'm in the wave. Yeah, I was not you were more of a deadhead than I was. I knew deadheads, which is how I got to the Dead
right.
concert, but I wasn't really a deadhead, so I didn't know all the songs. I remember Casey
Now,
Jones. That's about it.
going down to Georgetown was a good place to see a lot of punk bands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And
I have walked from Georgetown to Bethesda a number of times, and it's quite a distance, you know. And this is a really funky experience. One of the weirdest things that ever happened to me was on one of those evenings walking back from Georgetown in the middle of the night. It's like I don't know, between 3 and 4 in the morning on Bradley Boulevard, and this woman in like this huge old Cadillac or something pulls over on the road where I'm walking, and she doesn't look scary at all. I mean, she's a little bit older than me, so like I'm like 19, so she's like, I want to say she's uh, no older than 35, so 30 something. And she's like, I just saw you on the side, over the road. It's like a big, long, scary, dark road at 4 o'clock in the morning. She's like, so, if you want a lift, I can give you a lift. I'm just here nearby. And it's like, okay. So she gave me a lift, and she tells me that she's an actress, and she's staying at her parents' house, and she's doing a show at the Kennedy Center. And um, if I'd like, she would give me let me go to see the matinee on Sunday or whatever. And she gives me her phone number, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. And the next day I call her, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'd love to go to see the matinee. So the show was called I'm getting my act together and getting it on the road. And I go to the Kennedy Center on Sunday for the matinee. She gives me a backstage pass. So I'm supposed to go into like the employees door. And I go up to the there's literally like a star on the door, where she's in, and she's like in front of the mirror, once with light bulbs. It's just like a movie scene or something. And she's in the dressing, in the star dressing room or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, great to see you." And this guy, this security person, will take you to the seat, best seat in the house, right in the center, whatever. Um, the curtain opens, and she is wearing exactly what I was wearing, which is like a brown leotard and a pair of blue jeans or something. And she's the protagonist of this show, and the character's name is Heather, which is really funny. And I was just like, you got to be kidding. It's like, this is like, the universe all doing these somersaults or whatever. It was hilarious.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. Fun, weird things that happen. It's weird when you find yourself as a character in the middle of a play.
I was to say mirrored,
What?
mirrored, sort of.
Mirrored, yeah. Yeah. I like it though. I
Um,
like weird things.
do you Well, obviously, look who you're hanging out with.
Right. I was really happy. I went to see a friend. This morning I went to there's a big flea market on Sunday in Rome called Porto Portes, and I saw a friend of mine who's from Kazakhstan, no, and he loves books, and I love books. You love books, and so we were talking about books, and we were talking about stories that play out in our heads and things. And I was really amazed that, like, talking to him, he knew exactly what I was talking about with, like, multiverses and things. It was interesting. It was fun.
Cool.
Different dimensions. Woohoo!
Um, all right. Well, I think we'll get ready to wrap things up. I'm going to bundle up and bundle up and bundle up and shovel some snow.
You're gonna shovel. You're not going for your walk. You're gonna shovel and then walk.
Well, I've done both my walks
Oh,
so
okay.
far today.
That's
I'll
right.
do one more walk, but I'm going to do it on what I call the uh, Wayne S. McCarty Memorial Track,
Mm-hmm.
which when my dad got too sick to go outside and walk, I would help him out of his wheelchair, and we would walk from the living room to the kitchen, down the hallway, and back into the kitchen. And
Or I have a question about so that's in the house. That's the
right,
walk in the house.
yep,
But where the snow is concerned and the shoveling is concerned, I mean, if you're like gonna have more snowstorm, like, so you just it's not snowing right this instant, but it snowed before, you're gonna shovel that snow, but then it's gonna snow again.
yep.
So why not just leave it? Is it because you
Um,
want less accumulative snow?
yes, it's easier. It's easier to move um,
Bit
three
by
inches of
bit.
snow than 2 feet of snow.
There you go. I get it.
And in my younger days, it was all a workout. I would put on a weight vest, I would put on ankle weights, and I would go out and shovel snow and shovel my neighbor's sidewalks. And I would. Mocha has memories of me giving her a stopwatch. See how fast I can shovel all of these, uh, the entire row of houses.
Dang.
Yeah, and I would
Okay.
I would turn it all into some type of workout.
Those days gone by, are they a thing of the past?
They
The
are
shoveling, the competitive shoveling.
days of competitive shoveling are in the past.
Yeah.
I takes me a little longer to recover than it used to. Um, I always say, I can still do at 60. I can still do everything that I could do when I was 20, but maybe not as quite as heavy. Maybe
Energetically, right.
right, and it might take me a little bit longer to recover from.
Shoveling question, you do switch sides sometimes, right? Like,
I
so
don't.
you do not.
Nope. I get out there and I get it done, and I'm back in the house. I was telling Kat I had a little uh, ego epiphany shoveling the sidewalk early this morning. My brother pointed out to me that when you go out and shovel snow, you do our walk, and then you move over to the neighbors and you do sometimes you do their whole walk for them. Uh, Other times you do it all the way up to their car, so they can get out and get to their car easy if they have to. And when they beat you out there, they always shovel to right where their property ends and not an inch further. He's like, doesn't that bother you? And I had never thought about it. I just go out and shovel. And if I feel like, I can do something nice for someone, go ahead and do it. But as I was shoveling, I started thinking about it and I started getting a little resentment. My brother's right. They've never, not even an inch over. Screw them, man. I'm not going to do that. Um, but then I caught myself and I thought, so was I doing it before as just joyfully and from my heart to do something without expecting anything in return? And I was. So why would that change now that I realize that they've never returned the favor?
All comparisons are of the ego.
Yeah, exactly. And it really was a teachable moment because had I not had that comparison, I was perfectly happy just shoveling snow wherever I found snow and realizing that it made my neighbor's life a little easier.
I wanna ask you a hypothetical. You have a sister who lives nearby, right?
Yep.
What if you shoveled her snow? What would happen?
They'd be grateful.
Okay.
Um, yeah, they would be grateful. Especially, my brother-in-law fell off a ladder. It hasn't quite been the same. I believe broke his hip and broke an ankle. So walks
Mm,
with a limp.
sorry about that. Ouch. That's
Um,
painful.
but I do believe since then, could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he has a snow blower. So, uh, and it's a short sidewalk, mostly steps. So I think he just goes out and in one swoop gets it
Mm,
done.
I don't know.
I
I didn't know there was. I didn't know that there's something called a snow blower. I know about leaf blowers because one of the
right.
funniest sights I ever saw in my life was in Maryland. There was a huge windstorm, and so there was just like leaves blowing in the wind all over the place. And there was a guy in his front yard with a leaf blower, and then the leaves all flying around for the wind. And I was very much like, wow, what's going on? It was like true entertainment. I
Um,
do, I do like in Minnesota where um, they are using the leaf blowers to blow back the tear gas canisters. I must say.
we have a question, and then we'll wrap this up.
Hmm.
That Yogi, my B day is coming up 5 a.m. To the dot. Could I possibly get another B day fishbowl?
Absolutely, 100% for me. You okay
Thank
with
you,
that?
Michael.
You
Yep,
okay with that, Yogi?
yep. Adam says you're a couple of weirdos,
We
and
are.
my only answer is it takes one to know two.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
like, thank you.
yep. Michael says it's couple of awesome, amazing weirdos, just like all of us. Okay, with being a weirdo, it's not a terrible thing to be weird. It is not.
No, it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Misfits. It's the love collective of misfits.
Interesting, Sniper.
I was so happy when there was an idea of the love collective of misfits. And then my daughter said to me, her comment was, well, isn't everybody? It's like, is there anything else? Okay. Are we ready? It says, trust him to answer quickly, surely, and with love for everyone who will be touched in any way by the decision. That's like giving a decision up to your friend and mine, Holy Spirit, and then trusting him to answer quickly, surely, and with love for everyone who will be touched in any way by the decision. There you go.
It's a good one for your birthday, Long John.
It is.
And hey, we will. I hope you can stop by tomorrow at 5. Ring the bell. We'll ring the bell for you. Might even be a birthday song for you.
Hey, let's see. I'll tell you what. Listen to this. This is Long John.
Oh, cool.
Tanti auguri a te, tanti auguri a te, tanti auguri a Long John, tanti auguri a te. That's happy birthday in Italian.
Let's see. Lucy said she is staying in warm.
Good.
Good
Way to
suggestion.
go. Lucy love.
All right, Ms.Blipper, thanks for switching days again. It's much appreciated.
Pleasure. I'm wishing you snow shoveling full of holy instants.
I appreciate that. Oh, could you please reread that? Something caught his attention, and he just
Yes.
missed it. I'll go back, but I'll go too far.
Yes. It says, trust him, Jesus or the Holy Spirit, either one. Trust him to answer. Trust him to answer quickly, surely, and with love for everyone who will be touched in any way by the decision. Does that help?
There you go.
Let's go.
I like the Pretenders, Adam. Good band.
You and me both. I like them as well.
Yeah, very unique. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap things up. I'll be back till 5:25. Speaking of 5:25, tomorrow at 5:25, we have, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, Joel Schaefer.
Is that the
I
shaman?
It's the shaman. He's in the Toltec tradition, so we'll talk Carlos Castaneda and Don Miguel Ruiz. We'll talk the, as he calls them, the luminous bodies and recapitulation. Love you too, Long John. Lucy, see you again. See you, Lucy. So it's going to be good. And we also have on. I'm canceling someone on Wednesday
You are?
because it's about plant medicine, and I can find no safe way of talking about it on live stream.
Oh.
Everything I've looked up says that you cannot just get your channel can be taken away. You can be demonetized, and it's too risky for me.
Too risky. Yeah.
I do want to talk about it. I'm going to apologize to the guests if we could find a way of talking about it without talking about it. But I think even hinting for too long might be risky.
I don't know. You could talk about air balloons.
We could, and balloon animals.
That's right. Clowns that make balloons. You know,
Um,
twisting them into puppies and swords and things.
on Tuesday, though,
People
Fabiola
do
Nosshang, Nosshang is coming up. She's
nose shine.
Nosshang, Noschang, Nosshang.
Ah, nose chang. Okay.
She is Brazilian from uh, living in Utah now, and she's a course. She says she's a beginner with the course. She's like, I don't know why you want to talk to me. I'm going to talk to everyone who's interested in the course or anyone who's even stepping on what could be called a
Lovely.
spiritual path.
I'm all for it.
She's also an amazing artist.
Ooh,
Uh, she's an architect, and she does very, very spacious designs, painting, sculpting. Uh, she can be found online. You can see some of her work. So I'll have something, probably one of her works, probably in the thumbnail for Tuesday.
great. Great.
So those are the two for this week, and then I don't think anyone else so far. But I'm already starting to book people up for February. So things are chugging along. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yay.
And
Good,
Adam
good,
says,
good.
sweating and smiling. Adam says, uh, "That's true that you will get banned." Yep.
Sounds like somebody speaking from experience. Give it to God. You betcha, Lon John. There you go.
Thank you, Michael. Michael, thanks for being here. Michael was new when he got his first imperative. Says, "Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. You too." Hey, Jack. Thanks, my
Thank
friend.
you. Thank you
So,
all for being here.
yep, much appreciated.
What does it say? Because it's downloaded the ACIM Twitch now giving out imperatives too. That's fun.
Well, Michael, our new friend Michael, says he's no longer allowed on Facebook because he said Donald Trump could get some good empathy and help if he was given a certain plant medicine. But it's actually true.
Yeah.
Um, you know, you could say whatever you want about Donald Trump politically. You can like him, you could dislike him, but I think most people would point out that he's not the most empathetic person. Um, and that's as far as I will say about that. I think anyone and everyone uh, would have a profound experience using any kind of medicine like that. Um, and I think someone who has been emotionally stunted, empathetically, uh, compassionately, whatever, would really have a profound awakening.
They
Uh,
might. They might learn something about vibe. I mean, that's a possibility.
right. Now, having said that, I really want to talk to some hippie friends. I brought this up yesterday, but we didn't go farther. Um, it seems to me baby boomers have dropped the ball a bit. They stepped into the age of Aquarius and then said, "Nah, I'd rather have a Cadillac." Which is
Hmm.
a whole, Don Henley's. I saw, the Boys of Summer. I saw a Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. Um,
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, I was impressed. I must say, like that there was an article in the Guardian today, and it just said the headline of the article. It was like America has a Nazi problem, and I was like, I looked at that, and I was just like, that's the Guardian is saying that America has a Nazi problem, and I was like, what could I add to that? I was like, no shit, Sherlock.
right.
Like, you know, hello, right?
But how did that happen when people had these in the '60s? These profound experiences of love. These are people who went to uh, Woodstock and tuned in, dropped out, um, and
I don't think that that's necessarily the same group of people, actually. But where you're talking about materialism, yeah, or capitalism, just
but the
your
you
money
know
thing.
that's one of the largest voting blocks. The baby boomers. Uh, they have they have become very, very conservative. Now, I'm not saying I don't want that to be a judgment statement,
Mhm.
but in view of, um, the age of Woodstock and the free love,
Mhm.
uh, taking a conservative turn is really a 180 from where they were.
Mhm. I'm more skeptical than all of that. I don't even trust I don't trust the system at all. Me, I don't. I mean, I part of this thing that's going on with Minnesota is like Minnesota didn't release the voter rolls. Like they wouldn't give the federal government the
Right.
voter rolls, and I just think something really smells awfully bad when the federal government is insisting, like, you give us the voter rolls or we'll send the thugs. That's not
I
something else is at play.
I don't know if America's ever going back.
A lot of people don't.
I think we've crossed the Rubicon.
Um, I think that most things go like this, like a curvy line, up and down and up and down. I think there will be um backlash, but I definitely think that there have been some hardcore wounds, and certainly on an international scene, like that's not
Right.
easy to live up to.
Fortunate for me, I got a good friend living in Italy. He's going to put me up for a while.
No, I was just thinking it was interesting while I was saying that a metaphor came to my mind, and it was the metaphor was that as we were speaking of individuals and people, and we were talking about judgment and not judging oneself, or recognizing that you're judging yourself as the hardest. And I just think it's really interesting, like all of that sort of stuff is like, we're the best and we're number one and this is the most wonderful place in the world and everybody wants to move here and nowhere else. And um no one else has been saying that except for the people there. Like nobody in Europe has been going, oh yeah, America's number one, wonderful.
Right.
No, they're all like, no, we've got healthcare.
I love be my last thing on
Hmm.
the topic. I love uh, the ideal of America. I love that. I love Abraham Lincoln said, that
Hmm.
appealing to our better angels. Um,
Right.
and I I think that sometimes later than it should have been, America has always taken a turn for the right and those better angels. Not all the time, not immediately,
Hmm.
but we work our way through.
Hmm.
Um, so I'd like to have hope. I would like to have hope that
Yeah.
we
No,
will be able to
Europe
navigate.
kind of generally looks at America kind of like a big baby. Unfortunately, I must say that for me, I mean, I've lived here more than half my life. So I've lived, I don't even want to talk about how many years. I lived 28 years in America, and I've lived like 35 something years in Europe. And for me personally, like my favorite part of America was its diversity. I mean, that's the thing that I actually valued or thought was truly unique and interesting about America was its diversity. That it had people from, all from Russia, from China, getting into a taxi cab in New York City. They could be from anywhere,
Right.
male, female, China, Brazil, you know, Canada, South Africa. You never knew where the driver was going to be from. I love that. I love that. And not, I love seeing people of all different races and all sorts of racial mixes, and it just not being important. I love that in the state of California, they have little boxes on forms to fill out. Are you Caucasian or African American or Asian or other? And like 95% of the people say they're other. And I love that. I absolutely love that. And so it's really painful to see the backlash on that, to
Right.
see this population of people who aren't living up to that ideal. It's no longer like a Walt Whitman universe, it's much more Orwellian. Yeah.
We are not welcoming the tired and the poor.
The tired and the poor, or, people being targeted because of their color of the skin, because they look like they might speak Spanish, maybe.
Right. Right.
And not even being, it's not like just Venezuela or just Honduras. We're talking Somalians, we're talking, who's next? Who's next?
There's always somebody next.
It
You can't.
started, when did it start? It started when they said, like, from no Arab countries. I think that was under COVID? When did they do that? Like, nobody from Arab countries was allowed into the country for a while.
Well,
I don't know.
let's keep looking for those better angels.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I speak of that because that really was unique and different. So I appreciate that. Yeah.
Right. You know, I spent a lot of time in Pittsburgh in the 70s.
Hmm.
Um, my grandmother I was born outside of Pittsburgh,
Hmm.
McKeesport,
Hmm.
and I had family up there, and it was a very um, you would find, like you were saying, like New York, all different accents.
I love that. I
Yep.
love not being able to tell. Like, you can walk into, I don't know, one of those, like, stores where they sell chips and coffee near the gas station or whatever, and you see somebody, and they don't, in your mind, they don't look like they're going to speak English, but then they do speak English perfectly, and it's just like, ah, great. It's not homogenic, and I don't like homogenic. I don't care for homogenic. It doesn't interest me.
Hmm. All right. I have hope,
Good.
and all right, we'll wrap things up.
That's all.
Miss,
Yeah, we should wrap things up before, like, I spill more of my personal opinions, I suppose.
no, that's okay. I appreciate your personal opinions. So, we are largely aligned. I think probably I'm not even sure where we would be unaligned uh, in any of this.
Well, you think it's my fault, and I think it's your fault. So there's that. You know.
Yeah, I think if we thought about it, if we really, really thought about it, we would both agree that it's your fault. I'd like to think, deep in my heart, we
No,
both know. We
you
both.
just you just want to think you're right. That's it.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. I agree. It's important for me, for you to think I'm right, and for me to know I'm right.
Okay, I'm fine with that, because I'd rather be happy than right.
It's true. The course gives me great hope, Ms.Blipper.
Good.
It really does. There's so few, but I don't think it takes many.
I
Um,
agree.
and what gives me great hope is the fact that you and I can show up and have these conversations, and people come in and join us.
Yeah.
So let's
And
just
it's
keep doing
not
it.
just there. I think truly there are people all over the world. People who study A Course in Miracles or not, of all sorts of spiritual traditions and disciplines, that do value the importance of love in our hearts. I,
Agree.
I, I thoroughly believe that.
Yep. So let's you and I just keep offering
Okay.
it to others. Love you, my friend.
Be good.
Yep. I'll see you guys later.
Say hi to the snow for me.
I will.
Thanks.